Hello, everyone out there in Spook City. I am Crisp, and this is Painting with a Wisp, and we are doing a speed painting today for our VOD series of Bendy and the Dark Revival. So, let's get started with this. We're going to start with we kind of make a sketch layer already. I try to do that beforehand because I know the sketching process can kind of get annoying. Brain work you got to brainstorm a lot of different ideas. I tried to go with something simple and it actually kind of worked out in the end. But essentially it is our mascot and Bendy hanging out in front of a drawing thing, drawing out a scene from their cartoon, and then you have the ink demon behind them hanging out. So this is the first layer, line art layer. I usually do two line art layers. I'll do like a first layer to kind of solidify some of my ideas in the lines, and then I'll come back in with a more detailed option to get more weight to it, to give it more ideas. Uh, this is actually this was actually one of the harder ones. I don't know why. I was having trouble trying to solidify certain aspects of this piece, especially because I was going off of reference art for both Bendy and the Ink Demon itself. I tried to give the Ink Demon's claws kind of coming out of the top frame along with his face to give it that nice framing look to it. Some ink dripping off of him and landing on Wisp. We move to the second ink layer. This is moving a little fast, so you'll have to forgive me. I tried doing stuff with vector layers this time around because I like vector layers, making it easier to change already made lines or shapes. Makes it a little bit easier to work with when it comes to certain things. But in the end, I only really end up using them for one or two small things. While talking about it, I can give my thoughts on the game, I guess. The Dark Revival is a really nice little sequel. We are not finished with it as of this recording, but I have been enjoying every moment of it. Actually, right here, this is actually one of the few times the vector layer actually worked with me. I had to add another little point in, and I was able to get the inside of his little mouth, of his little face. I ended up using shape tools for some parts because I have this weird perfectionist look at it when it comes to certain things. Like, one thing that kept bothering me was the arms and this body shape. It really didn't work out like I wanted it to. I also know the pencil's being held horribly, but it's kind of difficult. It was kind of difficult for me to get these ideas kind of set up. I actually think at this moment I was taking a minute to kind of look at the concept art and trying to decide what I want to do from here. If I wanted to continue forward with it, I decided to continue forward, but with a small twist. I actually kind of got lazy and ended up removing his other arm and kind of just putting his hand kind of out of frame because I couldn't just get the arm like I wanted it to. The proportions made it look awkward, and I didn't really feel like fixing it no matter how many times I tried to throw it at it. I believe I was also trying to play with some different brushes and different designs. And you could see I'm like detailing his little vest, trying to throw some ideas in. I'm still trying to get that arm, but it didn't work out. We started working on the drawing board itself at this point, and it actually sucks. All that detailing I had to erase, but we actually move over to Wisp after that, and I kind of. This is sad to say. This is actually where I feel like my art kind of shined in. Like I said, I've drawn my mascot a lot, believe it or not, and it kind of means I know how to work with it and how to do it. I have to draw something a couple times to get a good feel for what I want to do with it. But I actually am weirdly happy with how this wisp came out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the detailing I did on his eyes right here. I don't know if it's the facial expression, but something about him just had this nice look to it. So I was very happy with that. We actually went back and added more detailing to Bendy because of that, because I was like, you know what? I added these little details to him. I should do it with him too. Then we move to the hardest part, the Ink Demon. So this guy is cool. I love his design. His design is essentially a satyr, or your stereotypical demon. He's got the cloven hooves. He's got the long pointed fingers that are extremely emaciated. He's got this emaciated frame to him. The teeth coming out of like a raggedy skull. just kind of made me go, okay, yeah, I like this design. I tried to mess with it. I added some fangs because he's a demon. And then I kind of just bounce around with the idea. I add things, I do stuff. And I think at this point I took a small break because I had to go take care of something and ran some errands that day. But I stop the recording and come back and finish up the teeth. I actually was very happy with how these teeth came out. They looked really good. I was very pleasantly surprised with it. It really added onto it. I added the droopiness, and I made the fingers thinner because the fingers I drew for him originally were kind of awkward looking. These newer ones are a lot thinner and pointier. They kind of give it more of a creepy spider spindly look to it. I feel like it really helped it. I kind of just drew in a very basic blotched body because I was getting a little tired of the line art process at that point. And then we got to coloring. I'm actually using this. That is actually the concept art image I used for Bendy himself. I got lazy with the coloring. I'm not going to lie. I just used the fill tool to make everything easier for me. Because it was a lot easier to just go, well, I'm just going to fill all this in and then color over some small bits and pieces. This is actually one of the best things I like about the Clip Studio tools is you have an option to just... I'm sure it's in the other painting programs, but essentially it's just drawing over something with color. I use it all the time for line art things, especially if I'm trying to change the colors to set a mood or add some warmth or coolness to it. It really helps it out. Let's see. Doing some bacon soup. I decided to go with a light orange color for the reflection because when you look at the Bendy games, that's kind of their color palette. Everything is some degrading sepia tone of like a brown or a yellow or an orange. It just adds it in. It's this weird thing of like it's all going off of one color for a color palette, and I actually really like that. I tried to copy that sepia tone look to it, and I guess I could have looked up an actual sepia tone color palette, but I just took one of Bendy's colors, threw it over it, darkened it a little bit, messed with some of the filter options to try and get it right. I threw over an old film grain look to it, and then threw the logo on, and I like how it came out. I think it came out really good. I think it's a nice design. I actually realized very late, this is what I'm doing right now, I forgot to color in the pencil, so I ended up really quick coloring in the pencil and fixing it. But yeah, that was essentially the end of it. I finished it up with that, and I was very happy with the results. So all in all, Bendy in the Dark Revival, it's a good game. You should go check out the VODs on our channel if you want to watch it. They had some really cool things I've done in it so far. We're probably about 40% to 50% through the game as is, and I'm happy to see where it's going to go from there. But till then, thank you all so much for joining us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. I'll probably be doing another challenge video soon because I liked what we did with the paradox forms for Pokemon last time. I kind of want to do something else a little bit more fan arty. I'll figure it out, but until then, stay safe out there, stay spooky, keep that creativity flowing through you, and I'm out. Peace.